You know, when you start your new business or when you're trying to bootstrap a business, so often I see a mistake that's made, and that is people spend money right away trying to market their business, right? And marketing is important, but it's got to come only after you've got some revenue. So the best way to start growth is through prospecting over marketing, right? Marketing should enhance your prospecting efforts. So what do I mean by prospecting? What I mean by prospecting is getting out and knocking on doors, talking to customers, putting out a video organically that can bring in traffic, calling people, texting, like all of those things are prospecting through your own efforts versus through just spending money on marketing. I've had this company almost 11 years now, and over the years, I've spent almost nothing on ads, on marketing. And now that doesn't mean that I shouldn't. I probably should do more of that, but to start, I grew this entire thing without any ads, right? So think about what I can enhance it now through marketing efforts, through ads, but I grew it all through prospecting efforts. I'm gonna share with you how I did that. So to start, I did it just as I was saying, prospecting efforts, right? I would go do presentations, I would talk to people, I would make phone calls, I would do all those things. Why? Because I didn't have the money to go out and run ads. And I see it happen. I see people who put down, $1,000 here to test something, $2,000, and they have no income coming in. So what I would encourage you to do is go out and prospect. And I use something called the network effect, right? So when I would bring people into my business, right as I would be pitching or encouraging them to join our network, what I would ask them is, who's in their network? Who do you know right away who this product, this service, this organization could benefit them? And I would get them to give me a list of names right out of the gate. Like even sometimes before they've agreed to it, I'd say like, who do you know right now who should be joining this with you? And what happened is those new customers were turning around and becoming my marketing efforts, right? They were the ones that were out talking about what I was doing. I often see business owners, this one thing has made me millions of dollars, which is taking the people who are joining my business and asking them to refer right away and then giving them an incentive to do it. So I guess you could say I've spent some marketing dollars, but I have an affiliate program where I pay people for them referring out the business right through an affiliate program. And now I have a marketing army of thousands of people versus just putting one ad out there that I'm hoping will bring traffic, right? I would much rather spend, say, $10 a month on this person, which is what we pay them, to go out and be my advocate, to be my ad, versus to put it on Facebook at $10 and maybe I get a few views with no click-throughs, right? And so that's how I use the network effect, because everyone knows somebody. Like most people have 300 to 500 people in their phone alone. And if they know other people, gosh, even if they knew 3 or 5 people they could bring into my world, if every one of them starts to bring 3 to 5, this network effect happens. And it doesn't matter what you're selling, right? It could be cars, insurance, real estate, plumbing. It doesn't matter. They all know people. And it's called the reticular activator, right? They're plugged into what they're plugged into, right? When we built a house, all of a sudden lots of people were building. When we had twins, my wife and I had twins, all of a sudden it was like, man, everybody has twins, right? Like it's everywhere. It's because I'm plugged into it, right? You ever bought a car? Yesterday, no one had it. You bought it today and now everyone's driving it because you're a trendsetter, right? Like this is because that's what you're plugged into. Your customers are plugged into your product or service as soon as they join. And if you use them, if you get them to be your army, you don't have to be spending a ton of money in marketing, right? That's why prospecting first, marketing enhanced. This kind of organic growth, and then as soon as you're talking about it on social media and you're going out and telling the world what you do, it's a great way to grow your business. Now, you can do ads, just do ads someday. Don't do them right out of the gate unless you have the funds to do it. And even then, I'm not so sure I would do it right out of the gate, right? I would have a way to do that. Now, here's this sort of advanced tip that I've learned. While one of the reasons why I haven't done ads up to this point is because I have this network effect. But now that I can do ads, I look at it and I think, how could I create an ad so the ad sort of self-liquidates itself? Meaning, could I put an ad out there that says, hey, buy my book for $10, and then I also throw in the audio for $17. Now they've spent $27 with me to now be someone that raises their hand as a lead for me to join my network, to join my organization. They raise their hand by buying my book, which now paid for the ad that I put in front of them. If that then becomes true and that works, which we've already started to test that, now my ad becomes self-liquidating. And now it doesn't cost me anything to now advertise. Does that make sense? So I would still start with prospecting to get money coming in. And then if you're gonna start running ads, look at them as, how do you self-liquidate? Most people run ads just to sell the thing. The mistake I would have made early on, which is why I'm glad I didn't run ads, is the mistake I would have done is I would have run ads to join my networking company. I just would have done that. That makes sense, right? This is the product I'm selling. Now instead, what I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, buy my book so I can liquidate the ad. Now that you're in my ecosystem, now I can sell you to the networking. And that's the benefit of running ads when you have the money and when you've gained some experience. That's what I wished I'd known when I started. I just happened to be lucky and I only did it because because I had no money, I did the prospecting first. But if you're coming in and you're starting to make some money, that's how I would do my ads, so that I could self-liquidate them, get somebody into my ecosystem, then sell them my product or service. Hey, listen, if you thought this was helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe. Share this with a friend that's starting to grow their business, who really is bootstrapping, who doesn't have the funds to go in heavy on marketing. Some marketing experts I've talked to say, look, you shouldn't even start, say Facebook ads until you can spend $10,000 to $20,000 a month. That's difficult for a new business. That's difficult, especially if you don't have anything to sort of self-liquidate that ad spend. So go ahead and go prospecting first, then marketing to enhance those prospecting efforts. Again, if this was helpful, a business owner this would help, go ahead and like, subscribe, and send this video to them.